And we are live. Welcome to the process. It is Monday, January 30th. I'm Josh Engleman, here to break down an 8-game NBA slate for all of you guys. Good to be here. Good to be back. Starting off the work week the right way. Good morning to everybody that's in chat. We're going to have some fun. 8 games. It's manageable. Coming off of what was a really good slate for me. Had the opportunity to be significantly better for a moment, but we'll get into that in a second. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Hope football went well for you guys. I fell asleep right before the Chiefs kicked the field goal, so I woke up not knowing what happened. I knew that it was 2020 and it was about to happen, and then I realized that I never made it to what the actual outcome was. I think I would have preferred the Bengals to win. Don't really care one way or the other. Chiefs Eagles will probably be more interesting to the general public. You get the Andy Reid Bowl, and then Super Bowl Sunday. I don't like saying this kind of stuff, so y'all keep it to yourselves here on the process. Super Bowl Sunday is also my birthday, so it should just be a fun day of eating stupid food and doing dumb stuff. It's what I look for in a birthday at this point in time, so we've got that coming up in 2 weeks. But for now, I think it's about that time to start talking some NBA. I do want to flip to this screen quickly just to start us off before we get into anything major. Yeah, that'll be fun. So ended up finishing 9th and 12th last night. I had 5 in the top 150, or 5 in the top 1% rather. But finished 9th and 12th. There was a chunk of time where I was sitting 2nd and 5th, which obviously would have paid out a significantly better chunk of money. But 9th was the best that I was able to get to last night. Ross, it is Lincoln's birthday. I'm very aware. Parents almost named me Abraham. Went the other way. This was my lineup that got to 9th last night. Morant, Duarte, Nesmith, Aldama, Jaren Jackson, Alvarado, Benedict Mathurin, and Giannis. Obviously, the 10.75 out of Aldama certainly did not help me yesterday at all. Only got the 15 minutes, which is really not what I was expecting. Not that it really made much of a difference there, but that would have helped me out a ton. Nesmith did help me out at that 4% ownership, but having the Morant-Giannis combo clearly helped. And then the lineup that got to 12th, which was 3 points behind that other one, very different too. Morant, Dylan Brooks, Najee Marshall, Jaren Jackson, Moses Brown, Jose Alvarado, Larry Nance, and Giannis. Najee Marshall is the one that really breaks my heart, just because he ended up getting to 34 minutes, and he's a much better than what did he finish with? 21 fantasy points. So he's much better than a 0.62 fantasy point per minute guy. That one would have helped me out quite a bit. I don't mind the Brooks piece. Honestly, I'm a little surprised that Brooks wasn't more owned, but clearly 1175 out of Brooks was just aggressively unhelpful from yesterday. I can't really complain about anything else that I see here, though. And it's really a shame to be able to get that Moses Brown lineup and not be able to take advantage of it, because Moses Brown went for 34 in 26 minutes, 16 boards for the Clippers last night. Those are the times where you want to try to get that 2% piece that becomes pseudo essential, and just need a little bit more there out of Najee Marshall to close it out. What are you gonna do? That's where we ended up. But yeah, that's 2 into the top 12. Been running really, really good as of late. Just need to catch that one individual day, because I'm putting a lot into that top 1% as of late. One of these days, that just needs to catch and turn it into 50 or 100. My most exposed plays from last night, I had Ja in all but one of my 150. Dylan Brooks was in 2/3 of my lineups. That is probably what stung the most. Najee Marshall was in half of my lineups. That one just feels like I don't mind the Brooks one as much as Najee Marshall bothers me more, just because I had more leverage. I was neutral to the field on Giannis. He was in just about half. Neutral to the field on Alvarado in just about half. I guess I was a little bit lighter on Brandon Clark at 46%. Some of my better stands that I had yesterday, Benedict Mathurin, I had in 25% of my lineups. He went for 7.5x. I had a little bit of Moses Brown. I had almost 7% of Brandon Boston, which worked out. I had Amir Coffey, which, essentially worked out. So I'm not mad about the value guys that I got to from the Clippers. I was actually very light on everybody else from the Clippers. Terrence Mann, I had 28% of. That was half the field. Norm Powell, I had 22% of. That was basically half the field. Both of those things went very much in my direction. I had 16% TJ McConnell at 48%. I was live yesterday. I was very, very live given some of those fades. Just wasn't able to get it across the finish line, unfortunately. But I was the 5th most profitable 150 maxer from yesterday, and I'll take what I can get. Cashed 76 of 150 lineups, but unfortunately couldn't get any higher than 9th. Fun to talk about, though. So, on that note, let's go big again. Let's get some coffee in our systems. I got a coffee here, folks. It's going to be a good time. I'm excited to break down this slate. I think it's going to be a pretty good slate, all things considered. I'm playing tonight. I'm not on Deeper Dive or Live Before Lock. So if you're looking for me, make sure you're following me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. Posting a lot more content as of late. I'll have updates to my sims later tonight, probably sometime during the Deeper Dive. Keep your eyes peeled for prize picks content from me. Probably going to see it in video form soon. Definitely going to continue to see it on Twitter. Went 4 for 5 yesterday, one of which was that Burrow free square. So 3 or 4. I'll take what I can get. Dylan Brooks was the guy that hurt me, and I would make that Dylan Brooks play on prize picks over and over and over again. So no regrets. Let's just get into it, though. The coffee is here. I hope you're joining me. It's Monday. We're kicking off the work week the best way that we know how. So rise and grind, everybody. That is what we're here for. Cheers to you guys. Let's do this thing. Flawless as per usual. Now let's get into it. I move my stuff around too. Not that you guys would know this. It's the same visual that you would see. But before, I had sort of like my laptop on my desk underneath a monitor to my left with a monitor straight on. Now I shifted everything. So I've got monitor to my right, monitor straight ahead, laptop on a laptop stand. So I think I got a much better visual. We shall see. Right now, I like it. So I hope that holds. BetMGM, by the way, sponsor of this show. We're going to talk about them in a little bit, but we're going to talk about 2 free months of Stokastic Plus Platinum and up to $1,000 on first bet in first bet insurance. I'm going to need more coffee. We'll talk about BetMGM later when we run crunches, but I'm happy to have them as the sponsor. Let's get into this. Bang, boom. Here we go, folks. First game up, Orlando Magic. 10-point dogs in Philadelphia, 232 total for Orlando. No Chumo Kiki. Otherwise, we are at full strength for the Magic. And they have pretty much dialed in their rotation. They went 11 guys on Saturday, which is not ideal to see. How bad did they get beat? They lost by 20. Admiral Schofield wasn't going to play, so they were going 10 dudes. Schofield played in blowout run. So I'm going to project it as 10, and we're going to assume that it's still not Terrence Ross. I'm actually going to clean this entire rotation out. Today seems like a really good day. 8-game slate. I don't believe anybody's on a back-to-back, which means that we should be able to project this pretty quickly and easily throughout everything that we need to do. So we'll start off point guard spot. I'm going to go 29 minutes to Markelle Fultz. We're going to go to Wendell Carter Jr. in for... kind of want to go to 29 on him as well. If I go 29, I got to go 30 and 30 here. 30 to Fultz, 30 to Carter. We're going to get another 31, 32. Probably 32 for Banchero. 32 for Franz. Most of that seems fine so far. And then I assume we get Gary Harris in for 24. His seems to be pretty cut and dry. So that's the first baseline of what we need here. They didn't play Mo Bamba. We know that we need to get John Isaac out there. So we're going to say that Mo Wagner is the backup center. I'm going to say that that's 16 minutes. That lets me go to John Isaac for, I'm going to say 10. God, that's ridiculous. And then we're going to get Bol in for 18, 20. We'll go 18. Jalen Suggs, backup run. I don't know. 18 seems about right. That leaves me Cole Anthony coming in for like 26. 4 minutes of spillover, random nonsense. I'm going to leave in as a placeholder for Terrence Ross. Rates can all stay the same. I have no major changes to make there for Orlando. That I know for sure. And then on the Philadelphia side, Q-tag on Joel Embiid. Left foot soreness. Seems like the perfect place to sit Joel Embiid, but obviously we're not projecting it like that. That's not going to be how this works. We will go ahead and put Joel Embiid straight away in for 34 minutes. We'll back him up with Montrezl Harrell for the other 14. That is what they did on Saturday, I believe. Whoop, wrong day. That is what they did on Saturday, I believe. Yes. On Wednesday of last week, I guess they did go to a little bit of PJ Tucker at the 4. Let's assume that they can do that. Or at the 5, rather. So we'll get PJ Tucker in for 20 minutes. Let's go ahead and get Tyrese Maxey in for 32. We'll get Shake Milton in for the backup run. We'll call it 16. We'll get James Harden. Actually, we'll get DeAnthony Melton then in for, assuming this breaks the way that we think it would, 28 for Melton. And then we'll get Harden. I'm going to get Niang in, since I know that he's definitely at the 4 for 18 minutes. That'll let me go to Tobias Harris for 32, I guess. This is all coming together really easily. So the only guy we're missing so far is Harden and Thibault. So then we're going to get Harden in for 35, seems spot on. And then 13 for Thibault. Easy stuff here. Rates all stay the same. Nothing to change. Did Embiid get snubbed, Aldo? Who shouldn't start if Embiid did? That's the question you got to ask yourself. He's supposed to be in. Who do you take out? Okay, so I like Embiid if he's in, and he would be my preferred Philly guy. Maxey at 2, it's close. Any one of the starters, any one of the pseudo starters at least, Harden, Embiid, Harris, Maxey, Melton are in play. Embiid is the only one that's really pulling away. But again, center, we know the deal. We know the deal. And then on the Orlando end, I think Banchero looks okay for 6,800. Going to be tough for me to get to Franz, which is probably a good thing. Fultz, Carter, Anthony, you can play. No real priorities coming out of this game, other than probably Embiid. And even then, that's a tricky one. I mean, if you want to say Durant, I get it. I don't agree with it. But why does Durant not playing matter? Kevin Durant has played more minutes and more games than Joel Embiid at this point in time. They will likely be the same by the time we get to All-Star. So Durant not being healthy is not a reason to say that. You want to say it because it's on court? Okay, I'll have that conversation if you want. But not playing doesn't work when Joel Embiid has played less than Kevin Durant. Bad reasoning. Look, somebody had to get snubbed. Giannis, Durant, Jason Tatum, Embiid. One of those guys just had to not start. There's no snub involved. Do you want to know what the real snub is? Do you want to know why this was a problem and it didn't need to be? The problem here is at guard. If we can just call Jason Tatum a guard for this particular exercise, then you start Giannis, Embiid, Jason Tatum, and then whatever Giannis, Embiid, Jason Tatum, who am I missing? Durant as 4, and then just one of Donovan Mitchell or Kyrie Irving. Done. Because all 4 of those guys should start. They're better than the 2 guard options. But the NBA is broken like that. Yeah, we can't draw the line through Durant like that. Not because he's hurt. Can't be punishing guys for being injured. Okay, no LeBron for today. No AD for today. Lakers 9-point dogs in Brooklyn. 231 total. Again, no LeBron, no AD, no Austin Reeves, Lonnie Walker back. So this is clearly a giant update for today's game. Lakers. Okay, so we're going to get Dennis Schroeder starting. And he's playing 34 minutes a game. No reason to suspect that doesn't happen here. Obviously, maybe not obviously. I mean, Thomas Bryant's going to start. And then, how many minutes does Thomas Bryant play today? Has not been playing as many. But in that final stretch before AD came back, he was averaging like 24 a game. I can't go any lower than 24 for Thomas Bryant. What else do we need here? We know that Russ is going to play relatively big minutes. I call that 30. Let's just get that in now. Wenyen Gabriel with Rui Hachimura here had been removed from the starting lineup. I assume bringing in freeing up 70-something minutes will matter here. Lonnie Walker played 18 in his return on Saturday. I'm going to go to 24 on Walker. I think Wenyen Gabriel steps back onto the floor here. Gets back to like 16 minutes a game. And then I think we're probably going to get like Rui at the 5 a bit. Rui came in, played 24. Feels about right. Pat Bev, minutes have been up as of late. We're going to get him in for 28. Troy Brown, I assume, continues his really uninteresting run of playing 26 minutes a game. Feels about right. Another guy that's just not good. All right, so who are we missing? Juan Toscano Anderson and who? Is it Max Christie, probably? Max Christie steps in, plays like 18 minutes. 16 to Juan Toscano-Anderson. That feels about right. About right, at least. Something like that. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't have a great feel for projecting the Lakers today because all of these guys stink in their own way. And when everybody stinks, it makes it really difficult to figure out what to do with playing time. We'll start with the Lakers. We're going to say games where LeBron and AD did not play. How many games have we had both of those guys off the floor so far this season? Only 4. Schroeder gets up to 25% usage at that time. Russ gets to 34. Let's put a pin in that for a second. Let's just say that those two guys are off, and we want to say that Russ did in fact play. So, for today, because Russ is going to be the best best overall projection here. 34.5% usage rate for Russ when those guys are off. Locking in 34 here for him now. Have to do it. It's not fun, but we have to do it. Dennis Schroeder's played 225 minutes without those guys on the floor. 21.5% usage rate. At Bev, oddly enough, only 137 minutes with both guys off. 10% usage rate. Can't go that low, but it's low. Rui, I'm just going to say, is himself. I don't really know how else to project him. And then Thomas Bryant, 238 minutes, 20% usage rate. We'll lock that down as well. They did screw LeBron on that call. That was bad. That was real bad. All right. Assist rate for Russ actually does go up a bit, which is kind of incredible to think about given the fact that nobody out there is any good to actually score. I'm guessing his potential assists are even higher. Rebounding rate. I actually thought Russ would have rebounded more. Does not. Thomas Bryant somehow does not. So I guess that's just going to be the Lakers, who are, at least based on my first glance, not going to look as good as you would expect. Now, we can make some tweaks to some of these minutes, but for right now, I think it's pretty good. As we look on the Brooklyn side, the Brooklyn Nets are going to be likely without TJ Warren, doubtful, still no KD. And then Ben Simmons is questionable, left knee soreness. So assuming Ben Simmons is in, this is just going to be everything that we've been doing, just no TJ Warren. I like assuming Ben Simmons is in, but who the hell knows? That's a good coffee sip, though. 38 minutes for Kyrie. We got 33 in for Nick Claxton. I'm actually going to make that 34 now. This dude's just playing a ton. I'm going to leave Ben Simmons in for 29. I got Watanabe in here for 18. Royce O'Neal in for 34. Seems fine. I got Joe Harris in for 28. I guess I'm going to go 26. Oh, yeah, I don't have Seth Curry in right now. Let's get Patty Mills' minutes out of there. Let's get Edmund Sumner's minutes out of there. Let's get Cam Thomas's minutes out of there. Now, let's get Seth Curry in for the 31 that he's been playing. That leaves me 30 more minutes for some combination of Cam Thomas, Patty Mills, Edmund Sumner, Markieff Morris. Assuming we don't have Warren, I'm guessing we're going to get a split of Cam Thomas. Yeah, maybe not. I mean, I guess it's probably not going to matter. I could see Watanabe getting a little bit more time. I just don't want to. I'll take him up to 20 since it's an 8-gamer. I think we could stomach that. And then Morris and Sumner, maybe 14 apiece. That's too many. Maybe do I need to go 10? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I'm gonna go 10. So I'm gonna go basically like 10, 9, and 9 to Markieff Morris, Daron Sharp, and Cam Thomas. That should be good. Good enough, at least. Rates don't have to move. This can all hold for Brooklyn. So as we look at the Nets, I still don't mind getting to Kyrie 10-8 on DraftKings, 10-4 on FanDuel. It's just, we're talking about 30-something% usage. We're talking about a 27% assist rate. Like, it's just, to me, it's a no-brainer. 8,100 for Claxton feels high, but at the same time, I mean, playing really well, playing big minutes. I don't think anything's crazy there. 5,300 for Seth Curry scares me, but good per minute rates for right now. You know, he's a 0.85 guy in this matchup. It really helps when you get to face the Lakers without any talent. On the Lakers end, Russ is priced down to 7,500. That stands out today on DraftKings. I don't mind Schroeder at 5,400, but I prefer Russ to Schroeder. And then 5K Thomas Bryant, like, you could get a 30-minute Thomas Bryant game today. You could also get an 18-minute Thomas Bryant day, but I think at 5K, he's the right price. He'll be interesting. We go to Sacramento. Kings 1-point dogs in Minnesota, 236 total. For the Kings, everybody's available. So we're probably not making many changes here. I am going to gut the rotation just to type it in again, but this is a team that doesn't move around all that much, so it should be pretty easy. So we'll start off with Fox. He'll go straight in for 35 minutes. Then we'll go to Kevin Huerter in for, I'm going to say 31, 32. We'll go 32 to Huerter. Harry B goes in for 35. Keegan Murray, we're going to go in for 33. And then Domantas Sabonis, 35. I can make a real case it should be 36. We're going to go with this, though. We're going to say Metu backup, 13 minutes. We're going to say Davion Mitchell backup. Where are you hiding? 13 minutes. Let's get Malik Monk out there for 18. We get Trey Lyles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I've got a lot of like additional minutes that I need to deal with, but that'll be pretty easy. We'll get Trey Lyles in for 18, 19, 19. We'll go 18. I don't trust it. It leaves me 8 minutes left over of whatever we want to call it. I'm pretty comfortable giving Davion Mitchell 2 more. I don't like only giving Monk 18, though. That scares the shit out of me. I'm going to give him 20 and then just 4 spillovers to Terrence Davis. Rates don't have to change, though. That's for sure. So that's Sacramento here, and they should look really good against Minnesota. I mean, this should be a fantastic spot. I assume we'll get Brandon Katz saying that you can't play Sabonis against Gobert, which would just be like a really weird thing to say. But for Minnesota, Gobert, questionable. Taurean Prince, questionable. No Towns, no McLaughlin. So basically what we've been getting as of late, just adding Taurean Prince back in. Should be pretty simple as well. For Minnesota, we go D'Angelo Russell, up to 36 minutes a game right now. I'm going to go 35 just to keep it in check. But, I mean, he's been playing massive, massive minutes with Prince. I mean, just massive minutes in general. I wonder if that's a Prince thing, because they did ramp up once he left, but we'll see. We get Gobert in. He's played his last 4 games. He's playing, 33 minutes a game or so. I'm going to go to 33 on Gobert. Demetrius. It's a shame, man. It's a shame. So they really are just willing to play. I don't know if they're going to do this Nathan Knight, Naz Reid alongside each other thing. Torian Prince is back. Let's get the rest of this starting lineup done, where we get Anthony Edwards in for his 37. We get Aiden McDaniels in for, let's say, his 32. And then Kyle Anderson in for his 30. That lets me get Prince in for 18. And he was playing like 24. So we'll bump that up a little bit further as well. We'll get Jalen Noel in for backup point guard run. And then maybe a little extra. And then like 19 minutes to Austin Rivers. Yeah, that feels about right. Rates all stay the same once again. That all looks good. So what do we have for here for game number 3? All right. I really, really like Rudy Gobert once again. That did not go as well as I wanted it to on Friday or Saturday, whatever day that was. Friday, I think. But 6,600 for Gobert is just not right. And I think 33 minutes, like you can get 35 or 36 here for Gobert. He is very clearly the best option from Minnesota. Edwards, Russell, and Torian Prince would be my other 3 options. Prince, obviously, just a value play. I think I need to do something with Torian Prince's usage. Yeah, I do. I actually need to grab a couple rates here. Prince is currently broken a little bit. So for Minnesota, we're going to say Towns off. We're going to say starting Russell, Gobert. Can I say Anderson and Edwards? How many games have we gotten of the real starting 5? If this is enough minutes. Okay, that is more than enough minutes, actually. Let me grab this. Edwards, because I do want to get these usage rates right. Edwards is at 30.5 when they have this starting lineup. So I'm going to bump that up to 30. Russell's at 25. I need to clean all of this out. How wrong am I right now on Minnesota? D'Angelo Russell's about to become a problem, I think. D'Angelo Russell in 500 minutes. They've played 15 games with the starting lineup of Russell, Edwards, McDaniels, Anderson, Gobert. D'Angelo Russell has a 25% usage rate in these games. That's big. McDaniels is at, and he's playing a little over 34 minutes a game. Edwards is playing 35.5 a game. I'm fine there. Jaden McDaniels, just about 15% usage. Kyle Anderson is at 14.5. I'll keep him the same. And then Rudy Gobert is at basically 17.5. That now gets Torian Prince back down to where he's supposed to be. So he won't look as good as we just saw when I flipped over to that other table. Now, Russell's assist rate is down quite a bit, which makes sense. Because if you're going to have Kyle Anderson out there, he's not handling the ball as much. Anderson's been running a lot more of the offense. So we're going to bump Kyle Anderson's assist rate up as well. Gobert, oddly enough, not a lot of assists. Not the best passer. That's what happens when you can't catch. Anthony Edwards just sort of looks like himself at all times. Russell somehow stops rebounding. That's interesting to see. Jaden McDaniels, not good. Kyle Anderson, reduced rebounding. Rudy Gobert owning the glass? Rudy Gobert owning the glass. Holy hell. I'm going to go all the way up there to 15. Big day for Rudy. As if I didn't like Rudy Gobert enough. Now I like him even more. Maybe I won't go that high on the rebounding rate because I won't have to. But Gobert looks great at 6,600. I like Anthony Edwards at 9,400. Shooting guard, small forward. You're going to want all the minutes. You know he's volatile if the shot's not falling, but Minnesota Sacramento is a hell of a game to try to get him for. Don't mind going to Russell. Don't mind going to McDaniels or Anderson. Taurean Prince, not the same value that I thought we would have. On the Sacramento end, and that assumes Prince is in, I don't love anything individually from Sacramento. It's going to just be hard. No matter how he's playing, it's hard to go to Sabonis at 10-3, given what else is out there. I probably like Harrison Barnes the most. Any one of the starters is fine. It's 3 games down. Going pretty well here so far. Golden State Warriors are 4-point favorites in Oklahoma City. 241 total in this one. That's a big time total. What do we know for Golden State? Everybody available except for Iggy. This is one where I actually don't think that I'm going to be making any wholesale changes. They haven't really been messing around. 35 minutes for Steph. I could honestly make a case that should be 36. I'll stick 35. I got 33 for Poole. That's fine. 33 for Clay. Fine. I got 21 for Looney. I think that's okay. 33 for Draymond. 31 for Wiggins. Now, Wiggins hasn't played the past 2 games. He missed Wednesday and Friday. Took the weekend off. Going to assume that he's just back playing like somewhere into the 30s. 26 for DiVincenzo, which is, I think, where they want him to be when they're at full strength. 22 for Kuminga. Okay. Oh, yeah. So someone's going to... Anthony Lamb probably leaves the rotation for JaMychal Green. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe Green stays. I guess I'm okay with Golden State's rotation right here. I know I don't have any rates to change because these have been updated for this particular team. When we go to OKC, Thunder, no Dort still, no JRE, no Poku. So that's going to be the same thing that we've seen, or that we saw for the past game with no Dort. That was Friday's game. So assuming we get Aaron Wiggins in the starting lineup again, I'm gonna have to bump his minutes up a bit. We've got Shea in for 35, Jalen Williams in for 32, Giddey in for 31, which is maybe too high, but we'll deal with it. Jalen Williams with a Y played. Ousmane Dieng got 10. I guess we don't have to worry about those extra minutes going in for Trey Mann. That's an easy way to get Aaron Wiggins up to 28. 24 for Joe. Kind of a bummer. Should have played more. Baisley, Muscala. I think I'm okay with everything here. All right, OKC. Should come as no surprise, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for 9,900 looks fantastic. I expect to have quite a bit of Shai in this one. Unfortunately for us, $3,400 Aaron Wiggins is going to be a guy that you get to. You need every bit of his minutes, though. That's what sucks. 0.76 points per minute is piss poor. So hopefully better value comes out so we can get away from Wiggins. Williams, Giddey, Isaiah Joe. I probably have too many minutes going here to Isaiah Joe. Let's go ahead and bump up Jalen Williams with a Y, who is probably going to get played off the floor pretty aggressively here in this one. And then on the Golden State side, it's so hard to want to go to Steph today. If you could just pay $600 less for SGA, who's better than him. I don't love anything from Golden State. Any starter's fine. Clay for $6,700, probably my preferred option, but just not anything that you're going to be going crazy for on the Warriors for today. All right, we're up to 153 people in here. 49 likes. The 1/3 ratio just doesn't work for me. This is a half show at a minimum. So we need to get up over 75 like that. I would like it to be even higher than that, but this is not a show with a ratio below 50-50. We need the likes. Washington Wizards, 5-point favorites in San Antonio, 235 total. If you ever want to know how bad San Antonio is, look at this game where the Wizards are 5-point favorites on the road. Porzingis is back, which means we got to gut everything that's here. Jordan Goodwin to the G League. Anthony Gill out too. So we do have some interesting things happening here for the Wizards. Good to see. So we're going to get Monty Morris into the starting lineup. Bada bing, bada boom, 28 minutes. As per usual. Alon Wright in for 20. So 240. So Morris and Wright still playing alongside each other, even at full strength. All right, then we're going to get Daniel Gafford. So Porzingis missed 3 games. Gafford, I'm guessing, goes back to like the 22, 23 minutes that he had been playing. I'm going to go 23 for Gafford. And I'm going to assume that we're not getting Taj Gibson anymore. So I'll be able to go 25 to Porzingis. 33 minutes for Porzingis, I guess. That should be fine. We can then get Kuzma in for 36. We're going to get Bradley Beal in for 31, I think. I mean, this is a guy that's just not playing a lot of minutes right now. Benny. Do they go back to the dual big starting lineup? I think we're going to get like 28 to 30 minutes out of Denny anyway. I'm going to go 28 to Denny. With Porzingis back, it's just a little bit weirder. We've got 41 minutes left over for Corey Kispert and Kendrick Nunn, I believe. 1, 2, that'd be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. So I think Nunn probably gets a minimal amount of time here. I'm going to go something like 14 to Nunn. Now, because that gives me 27 to Kispert. That's preposterous. Maybe it's not. Let's go 24 to Kispert, and I'm just going to leave 3 minutes on somebody random. Will Barton, knock yourself out. Rates no, they don't stay the same. That would be preposterous. How could they stay the same if Kristaps Porzingis is back? That would be so stupid. Obviously, I need to pull new rates. In games where Bradley Beal starts, Kristaps Porzingis starts, and Kyle Kuzma starts with Rui Hachimura off the floor. What do we got? All righty. We have... That's not in the right order. All right, they've played 23 games with those 3 guys starting and with no Rui on. Porzingis, 600 minutes, 27% usage rate. And we'll just leave him in here right away on that mark. We got Bradley Beal in for the 27% usage rate that he has as well. Gafford at 15. Any is at 15 and change. Not a lot going on here that's interesting, that's for sure. Kyle Kuzma, 577 minutes, 26.5% usage rate. So all these guys are basically the same dude. And then Monty Morris in for 13. Not a lot to change there. I assume this is just going to make everybody look not good. And this is just going to be much ado about nothing, but we're about to find out. Monty Morris with a massive assist rate bump, which isn't all that surprising. That's what happens when actual talent shows up on the floor. It's a lot easier to get assists when you have Kuzma and Beal and Porzingis out there than all these other jokers. I don't think I have anything else here I need to change. So that's going to be the Wizards. The problem is they play San Antonio, and San Antonio like legit stinks. Ooh, I guess it's always good to take a quick look. Tankathon. As of right now, based on what I see, the Pelicans winning the lottery would be awesome. Oklahoma City winning the lottery would be awesome. And I can't say that it wouldn't be sweet if Phoenix was able to do it. And you get this Booker, Bridges, Cam Johnson, Wembayama core moving forward. They'd be able to trade Ayton. You could ship out Chris Paul. I'd love it for Phoenix. Toronto down to 6th now. Obviously, I would be pretty excited about that one. Gotta always pay attention. We'll sim it once. Who wins the lottery? The New Orleans Pelicans jump the spots. The Lakers would have won the lottery, and yet they give that pick away. That right there, my friends, would be awesome. All right, Spurs. Q tag on Romeo Langford, no Vassell, J. Rich is available. Let's reproject this whole stupid team. Trey Jones in for 29 minutes. Jake Puddle in for 25. Did he and Zach Collins play alongside each other, or is this OT? Had to be OT if it's 53. Yep, OT. Should have known. Then we'll get Zach Collins in for 21. We get Sohan in for 29. You get Keldon Johnson in for 32, 33. 33, we'll say. And then if Romeo Langford's questionable, I assume he is just back, at which point, because he has missed the past 3 games, I assume we get 22 minutes out of Romeo. I don't want to project this team. It's so embarrassing. We'll give Malachi Branham the other point guard spots. We'll get Stanley Johnson in for 16 minutes. And then McBuckets in for 20. At which point then we're left with Josh Richardson for 24. 2 random minutes to Keita Bates-Diop, who I think just goes back to not really playing if everybody is back. Oh God, I hate this team so much. I'm gonna grab rates just because I hate myself and I can't help but dig into this further. In games that Devin Vassell did not play, in games where Jakob Poeltl, actually we'll go Trey Jones, Keldon Johnson, Poeltl, and Sohan all started. That's probably a decent sample at this point. Yeah, 15 games. That's more than I was expecting. Jake Puddle, 400 minutes, 18% usage rate. Sohan at 20. Keldon Johnson is at 28. And then Trey Jones is at 21. Nobody else really showing up as anything super interesting here. So at least we'll be able to zip through it pretty quickly. Poeltl actually handles the ball a little bit more from an assist perspective. That doesn't surprise me. He tends to run things from the nail. Keldon Johnson tends to not pass the ball at all. And then Trey Jones is just himself every time. We close out with rebounding. Jakob Poeltl, massive bump to his rebounding. I don't mind seeing that. Sohan, same guy. Keldon Johnson, reduction in rebounding. Man, that guy stinks. And we're same for Trey Jones. So, Sohan, Trey Jones, Jakob Poeltl, okay options. We're mostly not going to San Antonio, and I can't lie, that makes me feel pretty good. For the Wizards, I clearly typed the wrong minutes into somebody because I've got Daniel Gafford at 47, at which point you should definitely play Daniel Gafford. I gave him Corey Kispert's minutes as well. Now let's try looking at this again. Okay, so I don't really like anything from the from the Wiz either. $4,700 Denny is probably the closest thing to a good play. And he's a solid point per dollar guy. But I don't really have much interest here in anything. Certainly some upside in Daniel Gafford. Can't imagine wanting to get to any of the main guys, though. Tough game. Should have been better on paper. All right, 3 to go here. Pistons are 8.5-point dogs in Dallas, 230 total. Pistons really, and just in case I didn't get it over there, really pissed me off on Thursday with that starting lineup bullshit that they pulled, putting it out 2 minutes beforehand. I wanted to burn everything down in the world. What did they do then on Saturday? Did they maintain the same starting lineup? Pistons got beat by 3 against Houston. They kept Burks in the starting lineup. Look, I'm happy about that. Alec Burks is good, and he should start over Killian Hayes because Killian Hayes stinks. Maybe they can get some trade value for Burks and Boyan in the next 10 days. But now we need to reproject this entire Pistons team. We'll start with Jalen Duren, who played 27 minutes on Thursday in a start, 24 minutes on Saturday. I mean, the goal is probably like 26 minutes here for Duren. And then Beef Stew as a straight backup, 26-22. We're going to get Alec Burks in starting point guard, played 27 minutes on Saturday. 28, 30. I don't want to go too aggressive here. If Ivy's at 31, then I'm going to go 30 to Burks. But that might be his ceiling. I'm going to go 28 to Burks. And then back him up with Killian Hayes for 20 at a minimum. We're going to get 31 for Ivy. We're going to get 33 for Boyan. And we're going to get 31 for Sadiq Bey. And then we need Diallo, Livers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's it. So Hayes will then soak up at least a little bit more playing time as well. Diallo has been 20 minutes a game. That I can just maintain. That leaves me 29 minutes for Isaiah Livers, which clearly we're not doing. So if I go 24 to Livers, that's 5 extra minutes. I'm going to say we can get... Okay, so Burks and Hayes split the 48 minutes, which is very interesting to see. Stewart and Duren split 48 minutes, which is interesting to see. Everybody else is wiggle room in the middle. So I don't really want to give Killian Hayes any more playing time if he's just going to be the straight backup to Burks. We did get a first quarter rotation out of Kevin Knox. That's where I'm going to give those 5 minutes. I don't really think that I need to change rates here. I think that Hayes and Burks are decent enough proxies for each other in the starting lineup. So I'm actually okay with what I have in for the Pistons. And then we'll go to the Dallas end. What do we know for the Mavs for today? Q-tag on Luka with that ankle sprain. He did miss basically the past 2 games. Still no Christian Wood, still no Maxey. We're clearly projecting Luka in for right now, which means that I'm not really moving this rotation at all. We've got 36 minutes in for Dinwiddie. We've got 38 minutes in for Luka. I got 30 in for Reggie Bullock, 35 for Tim Hardaway. I'm going to make that come down to 34. Bertans can go to 13. Powell for 27. Dorian Finney-Smith for 34. I'll take that extra minute that I just gave to Bertans and give it to Dorian Finney-Smith. 28 for Josh Green. Yeah, that seems about right if Luka's in. I can't make any changes if Luka is in the game, obviously. There's just no way to do that. So we're going to leave Dallas stuff in. I assume Dallas. Yeah, I thought that was going to happen. Look, if Luka Doncic is in, I guess I should probably take a minute away from Luka. If he's coming back, I'm going to say 37. I'm going to go 29 to Josh Green. Like that, to me, that's going to happen. That seems to be the guy they're trying to go to. Look, 12-7 Luka still works for me. I got him projected for 70 fantasy points here against the Pistons. And I don't regret that in any way. It's massive usage right now. It's a massive assist rate right now. I don't mind getting to Dorian Finney-Smith or Josh Green for value. Tough to want to get to like Dinwiddie or Hardaway or Bullock, but I still don't mind paying up for Luka if we have enough value. On the Pistons end, I'm guessing nothing looks good. Yeah. $4,900 Alec Burks if you want it. Otherwise, ignore the Pistons. A terrible matchup against Dallas. Let's go to Toronto. 2 games to go here. Raptors 2-point dogs in Phoenix. 226 total. Maybe this is a Fred VanVleet showcase for Phoenix. Who knows? Toronto Raptors have no OG Anunoby out with a left wrist injury. So, that's a little bit different for the Raptors. Probably not from a rate perspective, but I think you just get a standard starting lineup that looks more like real life than what you normally see. We saw Anunoby not play on Saturday. We got 30-something minutes out of Precious Achiuwa. I'm going to go to 32 on Achiuwa for today, just in case. We'll get Pascal Siakam out there for 38. We'll get Scotty Barnes out there for 37. We'll get Gary Trent out there for 37. And we'll get Fred VanVleet out there for 38. Ish. So we're good there. Boucher, we'll get him backing up there at center for 16 minutes at a minimum. Thad Young has been unearthed, evidently. We got him 10 minutes. We'll get Malachi Flynn, that backup point guard run. We'll get Juancho Hernan-Gomez in for his standard 11 minutes. And then who in the world am I missing right now? I guess a little bit more playing time for Chris Boucher and get him up to 19. I guess I should be giving more minutes to Precious Achiuwa. I guess I'll go to 33 on Achiuwa. We'll take Thad up to 12. We'll take Hernan-Gomez up to 13. And then 3 random minutes can go to Christian Koloko. I really don't think that rates matter here. OG kind of neutral. If OG Anunoby is off the floor, I can't imagine that anything else is really changing here. I'm going to take a quick peek at usage just in case, but there's no way that OG Anunoby like dictates that much usage. Siakam's at 28.5. Yeah. Trent is at 20 and change. I guess I'll bring that down a bit. I wonder if Van Vliet soaks up more. Yeah. Okay, so with Anunoby off, Van Vliet does tend to get a pretty sizable usage bump. I'd end up getting too much Van Vliet here. Barnes is in at 19. We'll bring him down. Chua, Zuntite, 19.5. All right, so I think we're okay there. Now, assist rates really shouldn't matter. This should just be whatever the hell these guys are all the time. Yeah, this is easy. Nothing to worry about here. So that's going to be Toronto. Pretty simple. Actually, do I care about rebounds here? Achua at 9.5. Siakam down quite a bit there. We do want to bring that down a hair. Does Barnes get less? Yeah, Barnes gets way less too. Thought so. With more Achua out there, you get less rebounding for Siakam and Barnes. By the way, up to 177 people, 84 likes. We are very, very close to that 50-50 mark. So go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Then let's go over to Phoenix. I have no idea what's going on with Phoenix right now. No Shamet, no Booker, no Payne. Josh Okogie back. I'm going to just do Phoenix here from scratch. Chris Paul is playing 36 minutes a game right now. No way around that. And I assume Saben Lee is just playing the backup run. Yep. Saben Lee straight backup. We get DeAndre Ayton in for 31 here. And then we got straight backup of Bismack Biyombo. More or less. So we'll get Biyombo in there as the backup. Then we're going to go Cam Johnson. Played 32 the past 2 games. No reason to suspect that's not going to be the case moving forward. I'm going to go 31. I will also get Mikal Bridges in for his 37. And we'll get Torrey Craig in for his 28. Rest of this should fill itself out. We'll get Damian Lee. We got to get Dario Saric in for something. I guess probably straight backup run to Cam Johnson. That would be 31 minutes then for Damian Lee and Josh Okogie. So let's knock Saric down to 14. That leaves me 34 minutes for Lee and Okogie. Probably a bit too many. But if I go 20 and 14, or do I do 18, 16? I'll do 20 and 14. We'll do there's 20 and 14. Rates are the same. Those are the only guys that matter. I don't have to make those changes. I assume I'm going to get to a bunch of Chris Paul. Sure am. 8,200 for Paul. But again, if he's playing 36-minute game, that's just interesting. He's more interesting than Fred VanVleet, I think, on the opposite side. Ayton, Johnson, Craig, all fine. Bridges is probably a bit too expensive at this point. I mean, I think I prefer Chris Paul to Fred VanVleet. It's close for sure. But $5,100 Achua is the best thing going for Toronto. Only problem is center only, and we kind of know how that works at this point. There's 9 million centers. Final game, guys. A little bit of an hour, a little over an hour in. I actually think this has been a pretty good show just from the fact that we've been able to look at every single rotation, but we haven't, because there's no Q tag, or because there's no back-to-backs, this has been pretty easy. We're going to handle Atlanta now. 2.5-point dogs in Portland, 236 total. This one should be pretty cut and dry, other than the fact Q-tag on Trae Young is going to hang out in the ether for a bit, which is kind of annoying. But, you know, he has played pretty regularly. I'm going in for 36 minutes on Trae Young, going in for 37 minutes on DeJounte Murray. Not too much to write home about there. We're going to get Hunter, Collins, Capella for the rest of this. So we get DeAndre Hunter in for the 33 minutes he plays basically every night. We get John Collins in for the, say, 32. And then Clint Capella going like 28-20 on him and Okongwu. I'm going to go 27 Capella, 21 Okongwu. Jalen Johnson plays a little bit, so we'll get him a rotation there. We get Bogdanovich needs to be in for what, 30? We get Bogdanovich in for 30 and 16 for AJ Griffin. Cool. Easy. I think rates all stay the same, but I am going to pull Atlanta just in case. How many games have they started with this lineup of Murray, Collins, Young, Hunter? I'm just going to say those four because I don't care if it's Capella or Okongwu. At which point, this should be a giant sample. Yeah, 35 games. So just to make sure, we've got Murray in it, just under 25% usage. Lock that in. We get Trae in for 33. Let's lock that in. John Collins in for 17. We've got that already. Hunter in for a little over 19. That's fine. Capella, 15.5. And then Bogdanovich, 19. That's going to be our Atlanta Hawks. Closing it out, final team, Portland Trailblazers. Another team that if they don't have any injury issues, should be very easy to project. We'll go ahead and get Portland in Q-tag Josh Hart, Q-tag Nurk, no Justice Winslow. This is actually massive if Josh Hart and Nurk end up not playing, because they didn't play on Saturday, which unlocks like Drew Eubanks or Trendon Watford. It unlocks Nas Little, who's played 30 minutes over the past 2 games. This is incredibly important. Hamstring tightness on Hart, calf soreness on Nurk. For now, though, we're going to re-project these guys to be in, at which point we're going to say that it's Dame in for 36, Anthony Simons in for 35. I'm going to say Josh Hart starting and playing 30 minutes. Jeremy Grant starting, playing 35 minutes. And then Yusuf Nurkic in for 28, 26, 27. Go 27 here for Nurk. I don't think that Watford is going to have anything to do with this game otherwise. I think we're just going to get Drew Eubanks as the sole backup, playing just about all of the center minutes. I'm going to give him 20. We'll leave Jeremy Grant play there for 1 minute. The rest of this should project out pretty easily. We'll get Shaden Sharp in for 18. We'll get Nas Little in for 18. We'll get Gary Payton in for 18 as well. 3 spillover minutes. Welcome to the party, Trendon Watford. Rates I know are not changing for this team. We'll have to worry about that if anybody gets ruled out. Stop me if you've heard this before. I like Anthony Simons at 6,100 on DraftKings. It's a nice matchup here against Atlanta. Jeremy Grant for 6,300 is also fine. I really just don't know what to do with Simons. Like when these guys are all at full strength, he's just good. He just is good. So hopefully he doesn't show up too high when we run the crunch. Otherwise, I will maneuver some of that. And then we close it out with Atlanta. Hawks, DeJounte Murray, 7,900. That would be the guy that I'm interested in. That's just good value for MPE. Alrighty, folks. We are done here. We have 8 games up, 8 games down, and now we're going to run some crunches. So let's get the crunches up here. We'll move this over. We'll move this over. Now, before we do anything for crunches, let's talk a little bit about BetMGM. They are the sponsor of this video. They would like you to hit the thumbs up on the video. That's for sure. It helps them out. And we could help you out by signing up at BetMGM. There is a link in the description of this video, or you can scan the QR code that's on the screen. You'll get 2 free months of Stokastic Plus Platinum. Covers everything, every sport, every tool behind the paywall. Can't beat that. And up to $1,000 in first bet insurance, which means if you lose your first bet, you get it back in bonus bets. Now, you got to be 21 or over, so be responsible out there, folks. If you've got a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, first crunch up. FanDuel Optimals. Where did my mouse pointer go? There it is. All right, FanDuel Optimal. Anxious to see if we get to Luka here or not. Optimal lineup does have Luka Doncic in it. Didn't expect it to have Tim Hardaway in it, though. Alec Burks, 315.91. So this is the optimal lineup by 0.36. Alec Burks, Russell Westbrook, Luka Doncic, Aaron Wiggins, Tim Hardaway Jr., Jaden McDaniels, John Collins, Precious Achiuwa, Nick Claxton. There are pieces in that optimal that I did not expect to see. John Collins, for one, Jaden McDaniels to a degree, Tim Hardaway. So we are we're a little short on obvious value plays because there are a couple holes in that lineup, in my opinion. Power rankings on FanDuel. Let's go ahead and turn that on. And we have, what are we getting for today? That's not it. Wait. Why? That's interesting. All right, here we go. Power rankings for FanDuel. Simons, what are you doing here? Is it just a price thing? Yeah, it's just a price thing. If he goes, we're looking for 40. He's just always shy of it. It's a good matchup against Atlanta. All right, I got to pull the Portland rates. In games where Dame starts, Grant starts, Hart starts, Simon starts, and Nurkic starts. I just can't handle Anthony Simons being up there. I don't want the jokes anymore. I gotta at least do a once over. I mean, here's the problem, really. These guys have played so many minutes together that the sample is set. It's 24% usage for Anthony Simons. There's nothing that I can do to move that around. He's a 54% two-point shooter. He's a 36% three-point shooter. I can't move those things. He plays 35 minutes a night. Like, I can't regret any of this, even though it's not working out. It's too much randomness, which I know is the case here. But it's also him. Dame's at 32. Yeah, I can't make any changes. I really can't. Atlanta's 11th in pace. Portland's 22nd, so it's a pace up spot. It's Anthony Simons once again. The randomness is what's killing me here for Simons, but I don't totally know how to combat that. You get one of these days where he's taking 10 plus threes, and it just really doesn't take much. It's probably an assist rate or a steal rate, block rate thing for him, but it's whatever. Power rankings on FanDuel. Precious Achiuwa, Anthony. Now, to be clear here, Simons could just as easily be 5th. 19% is the same across the board. I'm going to run this again just so he falls. Because if he shows up at 5th, then I'm not going to care as much. It's the visual of it all. Stop climbing, dickhead. Yeah, there we go. Stay down there. No, stay down there. Stay behind Torrey Craig. There is a lack of, like, aggressive low-end value for today. I don't know why Tim Hardaway Jr. is popping like he is, though. That's become a bit of an annoyance. But at 5,300, I guess I get it. You know, he's going to play 30-something minutes. So we're going to go Precious Achiuwa 1, Tim Hardaway 2, Alec Burks 3, Nick Claxton 4, Jaden McDaniels 5. Aaron Wiggins, Simons, Edwards, Craig, and Curry round it all out. We have no value to speak of on FanDuel for right now. This is a very, very, very difficult slate so far. Caveman, what in the world does that mean? Now, let's run DraftKings. Let's see what we get on the DK end of this one. Anthony Simons is probably number 1 just to piss me off. All right, optimal lineups on FanDuel. Sorry, on DraftKings. 293.19. This is the optimal by 0.12. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, Dorian Finney-Smith, Rudy Gobert, Luka Doncic, Josh Green, and Precious. So the only thing that I don't like there is Isaiah Joe. And I don't think he's going to rank all that highly once we run this, but he's probably a guy that I need to remove a minute from. Don't think that he should be showing up like that, even though I do like Joe, and it is a good spot for him. Power rankings, and then we're done. Oh, for the love of God, Simons, would you just tumble, please? Looking like it's going to be Rudy Gobert in the top spot. I have no regret. I won't have any regrets there other than after the slate. Simons doesn't get enough shots. Anthony Simons has taken 218 twos and 274 threes. So that's 492 shots in a little over, just under 1,100 minutes. 0.46 shots per minute, which at 35 minutes takes 16 shots a game. I mean, that's a lot of shots. That's a lot of shots. I mean, he shoots more than anybody on the team other than Dame. Rudy Gobert, Precious Achiuwa, Aaron Wiggins, Anthony Simons, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Another thing for Simons is that he doesn't look like this at the end of the day ever. He's got an MPE. He's a mid-tier price guy. So most guys with MPEs, heavy minutes, and balanced price tags are always going to rank a bit higher in the morning before we get any news. As value opens, he's the first guy in this list to go away. Gobert, Achiuwa, Wiggins, Simons, SGA. Schroeder, Irving, Claxton, Anthony Edwards, and Dorian Finney-Smith round out the rest of the top 10. We are done, folks. Another one in the books, another one. 8 games up, 8 games down for this slate. Keep your eyes peeled for the contenders videos coming out in a little bit. We'll have the strategy show today. I don't know who I'm on with, but I assume it's Adam. Let me take a quick look. But no late show for me today. No deeper dive, no live before lock. Today, it is myself and Adam breaking down these 8 games. We should have fun. And we don't have a quick out or anything. Nothing's behind us. So come join us. Come watch everything for tonight. Keep your eyes peeled to my Twitter for updates later tonight. That's at Josh Engleman. Thank you for joining me. First one for the week in the books, everybody. This was The Process.